Varius.
Do you feel like being a Black woman caused a delay in your diagnosis?
Actually, I do. I was diagnosed in August of 2020, but actually earlier part of that year in January, I was like, oh, my stomach hurts. So I went to patient first. And when I went to patient first and they did an x-ray, he was just like, oh, you have stool sitting in your colon. Just eat some greens. It'll be fine. You'll be okay. That's all you need to do. So, I didn't think nothing of it. I'm just like, okay, eat greens. So then I ate greens and I was, I guess I was okay a little bit. But then like in June of 2020 is when everything started occurring, because it's like, I had actually was working and I picked up some product wrong and I hurt my side, but my side never stopped hurting. Like I went on vacation next week and it never stopped hurting. And I was just like, okay, cool. So on that Tuesday of the next week when I went back to work, I was like, okay, well, if it continues hurting like this, then I'm going to go to patient first. So I went back to patient first, but I went to a different one. And this time when I went, the doctor felt my side and he was like, oh no, I can't treat you. I think it's your gallbladder. I want you to go to the emergency room. That's when I went to the emergency room. And when I went there, it was like, oh, okay, we're going to give you x-rays. And they gave me x-rays and the doctor just came back and she's like, oh, well, I see you're mass in your liver, but it's nothing wrong with your gallbladder. And my first expression is like, what do you mean mass? Like, what are we talking about? And I also was having a hard time breathing. So then she gave me a chest x-ray and she's like, oh, so your chest has fluid in it. So we think you have COVID. So we're going to give you a COVID test and we're going to send you on your way. Can't breathe. Side hurting. Yeah. Sends me away saying I have COVID. I did not have COVID, but I did follow up with my PCP who sent me for an MRI. And when I went for the MRI, it came back with the masses. Then he sent me to the gastro specialist. He sent me for blood work. And when I got the blood work, it came back that my CEA was high. Then I got a colonoscopy. And when I received a colonoscopy, at the end, he came back and he was like, oh, it's a tumor at the end of your colon. Like you haven't had any issues. And in my head, I'm just like, no. So he did he had, I guess, the pathologist look at it. And then I had a liver biopsy and it confirmed that it was cancer. So it's just like everything just started happening so fast. But I do feel like in January, they blew me off. Like I didn't like, oh, shit's nothing wrong with her. Being that, first off, I'm young. And, colon cancer, they consider is an old man's disease. So for me to walk in at, my age, like, oh, something's wrong. They're looking like, she don't have that. Like, it's nothing wrong with her. She just needs to eat better. So.
Oh, gosh. we starting off. Okay.
Man, I got so much I want to say, but
I know too.
Wow.
It's such a shame that it feels like you have to go through hoops as a Black woman just to find out what's wrong with you. Like it's just, yeah. I mean, it's sad, but it's true. We got more to talk about. And thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
I'm glad I have insurance. Because if I didn't have insurance, this totally left. They would have definitely blew me off. Like, oh, she don't have insurance. We don't care. So,
yep. You're absolutely right.
A whole another episode.
Yeah, that's so true.
There's stuff I want to say, but I can't say anything right now.
Alrighty, let's get going. So you go through all of this. You find out. Okay, you finally after months find out what's going on with you. So now it's time to collect your thoughts, tell your family and friends. So did you feel comfortable sharing your diagnosis with other people? And other people, I mean, not only just your close family and friends, or just in general, how did you feel about sharing what was going on with you?
Well, I think it was like more so an initial shock of what was going on. So the only people that I did tell in the beginning was my close friends and my family, because I wasn't looking for sympathy. Like, I don't want nobody to look at me like I'm a charity case. Like, I understand the situation at hand, but at the end of the day, I still feel like me. Like, I'm still moving, I'm still having fun, and I don't want nobody to look at me like, oh, poor Maryella, poor Maryella. I mean, I'm good. If it gets to that point, then be like, poor Maryella. But right now, I'm good. Like, I'm just dealing with it. And, you know, even telling my friends and my family was hard because honestly, they took it harder than me.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was just like in shock, just like, okay, this is different. I didn't, you know, expect this to go left. I'm just thinking like, oh, maybe it's a gallbladder. You know, quick little incision, take the gallbladder out, gallstones, whatever, keep it moving. And I'm like, no, it's deeper than that. So I just didn't want to be a charity case, and I just didn't want to talk about it. Like, I didn't. Like, even with my family and friends, like, if they call me like, how you doing, the first answer is okay. And I could be having a bad day, but I just don't want to address it. That's like all I'm gonna do is cry all day, and I don't want to do that. So I just be like, I don't want to talk about it. So.
And, you know, just to piggyback on that question real quick. So what turned it around for you then to want to start talking about it?
Well, I felt like it was bigger than me at that point. Like, it's not about just me. Like, I have to take my feelings out of this, because even though I'm going through what I'm going through, I can actually help somebody else, you know, to know the symptoms, know the signs. And, you know, as a woman, the symptoms that they say that you have with colon cancer is the same symptoms as having a menstrual cycle. So, you know, the doctor's asking me like, oh, you didn't see this or you didn't see that. I've been getting a menstrual since I was a teenager. I mean, it's nothing that is not common for me as a woman. So it's just, I don't know. I just wanted to help people. I want people to know. I want young people to know, like, no, this is not an old man's disease no more. Like, I'm knowing kids that's 11 years old that have stage 4 colon cancer at 11. You know, so I'm just like, no, this is serious. And, you know, it's very rampant in the Black community. It's rampant. And it's something that, you know, older people don't take serious. Like, a couple of my friends that's in their 40s, they haven't even got a colonoscopy. And I'm just like, stop playing with this. Like, really stop playing before it gets to a point where they can't help you, you know, or do anything. I'm just blessed to be able to receive the help, because they could have just been like, I can't do nothing for you.
That's real.
Yeah, you teaching me so much. I did not know the symptoms were similar to just having your menstrual. Like, I didn't know that. I thought it maybe had to be something like more extreme, but that's crazy. And
it's just like cramping, nausea. They're like, oh, did you see this in your stool? And I'm like, I have a cycle. That I'm used to seeing that. That don't bother me. So how would I know? You know? So it makes no sense. I just think they need to change a lot with this. A lot needs to change.
Absolutely. So I heard you mention that you were shocked, like, when you first got diagnosed, and that was part of the reason why you didn't want to tell everyone. Was there like another feeling or emotion that you felt besides being shocked? Because I'm sure like your mind and everything was just all over the place. But was there another feeling that really stood out during that time?
I was more so scared, because, you know, growing up, when you hear the word cancer, automatically in my head, I've always had to believe, you know, it's just going to kill you. Like, eventually it's going to kill you. You can't change it. They can't make it any better. It is what it is. So it's like, it just scared me. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm about to die in like 2 to 3 years or in a year. Like, I don't know, you know, because it's cancer. Everybody that I've known ever had cancer, like, they get it taken out, or they have the surgery, they go through chemo, or it still come back. They say, oh, it goes into remission, but it comes back. And, you know, talking to the doctors, they're just like, you can't. In the beginning, it was, okay, we're gonna give you chemo for 3 months, and then you're gonna have surgery. I was like, okay, cool. But then when they found out the cancer had spread to my lungs, it took the surgery off the table. So then it got more serious, to the point where, like I said, I'm on chemo for life now. So it just was scary. Like, I've never been in this situation. I've never been sick. I've never had surgery. You know, like, I've been sick, but not like seriously sick. And I'm just like, what is going on? Like, seriously, like, I don't know what to do. I was just scared. Like I couldn't cry about it no more. It became more so like some warrior type stuff where it was just like, all right, now it's time to get to it. So what we doing? How we moving? What do I need to do? What's next? What it is. I don't have time. It's like I kind of didn't have time to really process my emotions because I was so focused on let's get this process started. Like, what do I have to do? I can't cry about this every day. So now it's like months later, like a year later, now I'm all emotional. Now I'm emotional because now everything is like coasting how it's going to be. And I'm just like, okay, CAT scans staying the same and everything. So now I'm just emotional. I'm just like, ugh. Now it's the emotional part. Not then.
Now you get to feel it. Now you get to feel all the feels.
I have another quick question. Did they tell you how what ended up causing it?
No, they did not. Doing my own research and my friends doing research, could have been my diet, could be somebody in my family that has colon cancer, so it might have been hereditary. So I have to get a genetics testing just to see if it was hereditary to be able to protect all of my other family members and the babies in my family so they can start getting colonoscopies at an earlier age and insurance will pay for it. Because now as it stands, insurance will not pay for a colonoscopy unless you're 45 years old or you have a family history of having colon cancer. Other than that, they will deny it. Or, like in my case, it came to that point where they had to do it. But other than that, it wouldn't have been found.
I got so much to say. I just
so much, right? It's just like, but the thing is, though, I just hope that the viewers, the listeners, y'all taking note, man.
Especially in the Black community, man. Like, yeah. I can tell you where all of this like stem from. Why they didn't tell you, how you got it. You know what I'm saying? Why the insurance is set up that way? Because it's like we can get real deep with this, but this isn't the episode for that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna bite my tongue.
We'll do a whole chapter on that.
For once, I'm gonna let it go.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead. I got another question for you.
Okay.
The thing is that one thing that you said to me was the fact that you're gonna have to go through chemo like for life, essentially at this point now, or just the thought of it, and just me being naive to chemotherapy and everything that goes into it, and some of our viewers probably being just as naive to it. Do you mind kind of like explaining to us like what that process looks like and how that mentally feels and what that looks like going through chemotherapy?
So first off, I received the chemo port. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
No, you want to tell us that?
Where is it? Right? I'm trying to find it. Hold on. Right there. So I don't know if you can see it, but that mark right there is my chemo port where I had surgery for them to put a chemo port in me for me to receive my chemo because the chemo that I'm taking is too strong for it to go through my veins. So I have the port. So basically, what happens is I go in every other week. So I go in on Monday at like 8:00 in the morning. They check my blood to see if, my red blood cell count and my white blood cell count is high enough. Because if it's not at a certain level, I think like a 0.5, like maybe like anything below 0.3, I can't get chemo. Because you have to have enough red blood cells and white blood cells, I guess, to be able to deal with the chemo that you're getting so your body can still function. So I have to do that. They have to check my iron and check all my other, I guess, bodily things. And then I go to the back. They weigh me. They check my temperature. They check my oxygen level. They check my blood pressure. And then I go sit in the chair. And when I go sit in the chair, then the doctor comes. Well, the nurse comes. And then she actually sticks a needle inside the port. Now, the thing is, I don't feel the needle because it gave me lidocaine. Now, I felt that needle before, and I swear to God, that needle, I died. Like, at that moment, I died when she stuck me. I was like, I'm never feeling that again. So, you have any cancer patients up here, newly cancer patients, make sure you ask for lidocaine. It's going to be a big, tremendous help. But
lidocaine, and just, I'm sorry, but tell us exactly what it is, lidocaine.
Lidocaine is like a numbing cream. So you have to actually, like, before I go to chemo, an hour before, I have to put the lidocaine cream on my port. So no matter where they stick me at, I will not feel it. I don't feel it at all.
Gotcha.
After that, after they stick me, they give me vitamins first and nausea medicine in the IV. After I get this type of medicine, then it starts with the chemo. So they'll come back and they'll tell me, say my name, my birthday, and then they'll verify that they're giving me the right type of chemo, which is Avastin and 5FU. Those are the 2 chemos that I take. And then I just sit there for like maybe 3 or 4 hours. I leave maybe around 1, maybe 2 on a bad day. And then at the end of the chemo that I receive in-house, I also get take-home chemo. So I get this little ball that I have, and I can send you pictures of it, but it's this ball that I have of chemo, and it attaches to me. So I have it in a fanny pack, and I have to walk around with this chemo bag on me until Wednesday. So for 48 hours, I still have chemo going through my body. And then on Wednesday, I go back at maybe like 11 or 12, and they actually detach the chemo bag from me. And then I go home. Now, the first time I took chemo, that was very, very, I would say, emotional. Like, I think I sat there in that chair and cried for like an hour. Like, it took nurses to calm me down before they even could start on me, because I didn't know what was going on. So, you know, that happened. And then I went home. I started losing weight rapidly. I didn't want to eat. I just felt nauseous, sick the entire time. But now so much, I still feel nauseous. I still feel tired, but it's not as bad as the first time. So it's like some weeks are good and then some days are bad. But for the most part, when I had the chemo bag on me, I choose not to leave the house because I don't want people staring at me. I just feel weird. Maybe because I've stared at people that had stuff, so I feel like they're going to stare at me because I was staring at them. So I'd be like, nah, I'm not going to leave the house. I'm just stay at home so nobody sees this. Being honest.
Can you really see it?
I mean, it's not funny.
Like yeah. I mean,
but it's
no, it's funny because I was like, I used to stare at people back and they're like, what is that? Now I'm like, nah, don't look at me. Don't look at me.
Like, I'm just not going to go out so nobody asks no questions.
Exactly. Because kids are ruthless.
Well, yeah, you know what? You're right. Kids, kids, they
you just gotta fight them on sight.
Exactly.
Don't care.
I think,
I'll fight you.
I think you got a little room to go ahead
on
and
sight.
One time. Just
In this instance, be like, like, shut up. Just shut your mouth. Like, so thank you for sharing that. Did you mention that you do this every week? Is that what you stated? Okay.
Well, actually, every other week.
Every other week, okay.
Every other week, I have chemo. So, and I spend that chemo week getting back to myself. By Saturday, I'm normally back to myself, and I'm running the streets again.
Back up and running. That's right.
Keep calling. You gotta
hold it down for a couple days.
I'm coming back.
So we're kind of coming to an end, but I feel like there's so much more that we can discuss and we can talk about. But like you guys said, we'll probably need a couple episodes for that. But the last question we really have for you is, and you kind of already did some of this, so I guess what additional things, and I actually have 3, but you can give as many gems as you want. What 3 things would you tell someone who has recently been diagnosed with cancer? And you've already mentioned a couple, but anything else?
Anybody that's recently been diagnosed with cancer, the best advice I can give you is keep fighting. Like, no matter what you do, keep fighting. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. But I remember when I was at the surgeon oncologist and she told me I had the cancer in my lungs and I was crying. And I was asking her, was I going to die? She was like, no, you're going to live for a long time because, your body, you don't have any other ailments. So we're going to throw everything at you, to combat this. And the biggest thing that she said after that was, the biggest fight is not going to be physical. It's going to be mental. So if you can get your mental right and you can prepare yourself for what you're going through, you're going to be okay. Because if you don't have your mental right, then your body's going to go down with you. So you have to you have to fight it, whether it's therapy, talking to friends, doing a favorite hobby. Like, just keep fighting. Like, don't give up. Like, even if it's bad days. Like, yesterday I went to the doctor. I told her my stomach hurt, and she told me that she was moving my CAT scan up to the 28th of this month to next week versus being the 1st of September, because she just want to make sure nothing's changed, nothing's progressed or anything. And that's scary in itself. So, yesterday it was like, oh, this is eerie. I'm having one of them emotional days. But I had to remind myself it's a mental thing. Things may go good, things may go bad, but you got to get your mental right. Be careful with your diet, with what you're eating, what you're taking into your body. Like, that's going to be a big factor. Like, I'm not vegan, but for the most part, I've cut red meats out of my diet. So I'm on a low fiber, low residue diet. It's just so hard. And don't be scared to tell your oncologist anything. Like, if you feel an itch and you feel like it's not right, call your doctor, call your oncologist, blow them up. Like, this is not a game to be played with. It's like, you can't play with it. You just can't. Like,
it's your life.
Exactly, it's your life. You cannot play.
You fighting? Yep.
You heard it here first. Hey, well. Girl, I'm trying to tell you. I feel like we got to do like a part 2 or something.
I know. We have to.
Yeah, we have to.
Part 2. I'm with it.
Yeah, we have to.
I got something like some real good stuff to say, and I'm mad that I can't say it today.
Exactly. I know.
We can't, because it's really, we're gonna be on this joint for like 5 hours. Exactly. You know how we do. We started. We're gonna have to finish it tonight, but. Yeah,
it's a lot. Like, between insurance, telling other people, getting other people to get checked out. Like, I had to tell people, like, oh my God, how bad is a colonoscopy? I promise you, you don't feel nothing. They're gonna put you to sleep. But my doctor put me to sleep, and I woke up like nothing ever happened. I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel nothing. I was fine. So don't be scared to go to your doctors. If something is wrong, go. Like, I'd rather you go than not go. Because my doctor told me, had I not came, I wouldn't have been here 6 months later. So I wouldn't have been here to talk to you guys right now. So, and that's with me having stage 4 at this point right now. Like, I have it. So it's like, dang, I had this for years and never knew. But I mean, I'm young. I'm not supposed to look for this till 45.
So how old are you? Like, what's your age? Okay.
36. So.
And I think too, I just feel like there's so many layers to this that we can dip into, like we're talking about, because I don't even think that there are some in our community, because of course this is, what it's more so, going towards, but I don't know if people even understand the stages. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's
what they
true.
all about. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm pretty naive to it myself. So I just think that could be an episode in itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, let's see, like stage 1 is when they just find out and they can catch it, they can like take it out or whatever. Stage 2 is when it gets a little bit bigger, I think. But I just know stage 4 is when it spreads to other organs. So it's not like, when I initially heard stage 4, I was like, oh my God, I'm dying, I'm about to die. And they're like, no, it just means that it spread to other organs. It doesn't mean that you're gone. Because I know my grandma had lung cancer, and they straight out told her, I can't do nothing for you. So the fact that they didn't tell me that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be a fighter about this. I'm gonna go hard, do what I have to do. So that's the only difference with stage 4, is just that it spread to other organs. It doesn't mean like, oh, hospice and everything else. So that's the only difference in stage 4.
Gotcha.
Because it's people I've met with colon cancer that they had it for 18 years at stage 4. Like,
oh, wow.
Technology is not what it used to be. So it's getting better, and they're able to kind of address it more. So, I mean, some people are dying from it, and I do have what they call survivor's guilt, but I don't know. I'm just a fighter. That's the Portsmouth in me.
Hey, right? Say it again, girl.
I don't even know you like that. I don't know you at all. This is my first time meeting you, but I'm gonna agree. I'm just agree, because like that's what Portsmouth stands for. Like, y'all are to the end, like over anything, on site, anytime. It don't matter. Like,
Nothing. Period.
And Maryella, just so you know, this is coming from somebody from Norfolk. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
She's really
Hey.
showing respect right now.
757.
Norfolk all day. No disrespect to Portsmouth. I don't want to get shot. I'm just saying. I'm just gonna rep my city. Norfolk all day.
Shout out to the whole 75, and shout out to just shout out to this whole discussion, because I think that this is a good tail end to our discussion here. Shout out to you, Maryella. You, whoo, girl, survival fighter, the whole nine, hero, inspiration, all of that. Go ahead and put that all under you, because that is. Man, your story it means a lot to people, and I'm sure that there are going to be a lot of people that are going to appreciate this, and we appreciate you just being vulnerable, being open, and being candid too. I think that was important, that the detail I think is important for people to hear, because this is something that you're going through right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't just like your past story or something like that. We do have another guest that we are going to be having on a little bit later in the week, and he has survived cancer 3 times. But the thing is that, like you said, it's what you're going through right now, and I think that just shows so much of your character and the fight that you have in you. So we admire that, and once again we thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you for coming up here and being yourself. Again, like I said, it's my first time meeting you, but I can tell like this is who you are, and that's something that we definitely stand for in the Book of Us, is to always be yourself. That's one of my biggest things ever in life, is to be you. So to see you still be able to be yourself, to be able to come up here and to talk about it on a platform where it's hopefully, or it definitely is going to reach millions of people. And you said that they told you if you would have came 6 months later, you wouldn't be here. So you're definitely here for a purpose, and I admire that you're able to be yourself, because I know that's kind of difficult with what you got going on now. Always be you, man. Like, always. There's no need to, don't let the situation change. I know you already know, but I just admire the fact that you were 100% you. So
thank you,
and thank you for reaching out to us. You didn't have to do that. Thank you for choosing our podcast to be you on to tell your story too.
You are very welcome.
Yes, thank you for your openness too. Because you know, a lot of people in our community, when they're going through things, or just in general, they don't like to talk about their experiences. And we need to do that more. That's our main premise for this podcast too, is to talk about experience, so that people won't feel like I'm the only one, or it can never happen to me.
Exactly. You know, and that's my biggest thing that I preach to people now. Like, you know, even in the Black community, talk about it in your family. Like, these are discussions that we don't have. So when they ask me, hey, does anybody in your family have colon cancer?
First thing we say is, I don't know.
I can't tell you anything. So those conversations are going to help others. It's going to help your family. It's going to help everybody. And that's something that we don't do. We don't talk. All we do is sometimes gossip. You know, everybody's business, but don't talk about what needs to be talked about.
Yep, you're right. Or what? Or what grandma had, or what grandpa died of, like really died of, you know what I mean? Or like what mom experienced when she was younger. What like if she had, like, we would, like, I feel you, because I'd be feeling the same way.
Exactly.
With my family.
I don't know much. Like, I know, like, my uncle died from prostate cancer, I believe. My grandma died from lung cancer. But that's basically the gist of what I know. I don't know much. So we gotta talk more. Gotta open it up. Talk.
And that's what we doing right here on the Book of Us, y'all. Yes. But real quick, Maryella, thank you again. Any shout outs, any plugs you want to go ahead and put out there? The floor is yours.
So make sure to follow me on Instagram, Nicole HERstory. Follow my YouTube channel, Nicole HERstory TV. If you have any questions about, like, wanting to know what the chemo port looks like or anything, it's definitely on my YouTube channel. I didn't put videos up on how to put on lidocaine, what it looks like, products that I use daily. Like right now, I use CBD. Shout out to Queen Hemp. Welcome to the good life.
Okay.
I don't know who that is, but I feel like they Black owned. So woo woo.
They gotta be.
Girl, where she go? You see the girl? Welcome, Queen Hemp. Follow that as well. You know, I work for that company as well. That CBD line has definitely helped me a lot during my cancer. So I promote Queen Hemp constantly. So follow Queen Hemp, IG Queen Hemp brand. Make sure to take up them Delta 8 cookies. We ain't gonna get into that. The CBD, everything else that you know, Queen Hemp has to offer. I do plan on having a I would say maybe a drive to bring more attention to having colonoscopies. I am starting a foundation. You know, I'm in the videos, pictures, podcasts. I'm just out here hustling. I can't work, so
there you go.
I'm just out here.
Listen, with this
This is
man,
work.
this could actually be part of your
This
gift.
is-
You obviously don't need to work. You still surviving, right?
Yeah.
You got a roof over your head, shoes, your feet, clothes, your bag, you got food, you got water, like you got the basics and necessities. You don't need to work, sweetie. This is your purpose. This is where you're supposed to be.
Exactly, and that's how I
Yeah.
feel.
That's
So
it.
now, you know, that's what
it.
Girl.
you know, that's what makes me on my Instagram page be more vocal about what I'm going through. So if I'm having a bad day, I put it on the Instagram page. I want you to know, oh, this is not the day for me. It is going bad. I want people to know. I want you to know the good, the bad, the ugly, the happiness. I want you to know, and it's okay. Like, don't look at it as it's not okay for you to feel these emotions. You have to feel them. Like, this is serious. So
You
just
do.
know. So it's helped me.
Ooh,
Yes.
I got chills, man. This is a great episode.
Yeah.
I can't say it enough, but yes, make sure y'all follow our girl here. Follow Nicole HERstory. Shout out to Queen Hemp. Shout out to the Varius. Okay. Shout out to and shout out to all of our other sponsors, Shaded by Chanel, Admire Yourself, Naturals, the whole nine. All right, but as we tell this out, y'all know what we do, man. To the many and to the few, embrace the book of you. See y'all
Ooh.
next time. Later.
The Varius